welcome. I'm Nikita Kapoor and you're watching the Daily Jagran. In this special segment, I will bring you some of the top stories of the day. Let's begin. A major breakthrough in one of the world's most dangerous conflicts. Israel says it has achieved what it set out to do. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared the removal of what he called dual immediate existential threat, nuclear and ballistic, from Iran. After nearly 2 weeks of intense air raids, drone warfare and fears of nuclear escalation, Israel has accepted a ceasefire deal with Iran. But what exactly does removing a nuclear threat mean, and how real is that claim? After 12 days of intense hostilities, airstrikes deep into Iranian territory, retaliatory missile attacks and mounting casualties, Israel and Iran have agreed to a ceasefire. It's a rare diplomatic pause in the region on edge. A statement from the Israeli Prime Minister's office this morning read, and I quote, "Israel has removed a dual immediate existential threat both in the nuclear and ballistic missile fields." Netanyahu's statement goes even further. He claims that the Israeli Defense Forces now have full air control over Tehran's skies and have inflicted severe damage on Iran's military leadership. These are all Israel's claims, and destroyed dozens of central government targets. This is what Israel claims. And backing this bold military push, the United States of America, Netanyahu specifically thanked President Donald Trump and the United States military for their support in eliminating the Iranian nuclear threat. The turning point in this operation came over the weekend when American B-2 stealth bombers conducted high-precision airstrikes on Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, a heavily fortified underground site that was once considered almost impenetrable. Meanwhile, some reports say that Iran had moved sensitive nuclear material to undisclosed location even before the US strikes. If it is true, Iran's nuclear program remains intact, scattered and shielded across various facilities. However, according to US intelligence, Iran did not move any nuclear material from Fordo before the strike. In fact, they say Tehran had actually concentrated more material at that very site, believing it was safe from any attack. So who's telling the truth here? On one hand, the US claims to have crippled Iran's nuclear ambitions by striking Fordo, a facility once thought to be beyond reach of air power. On the other, Iran maintains it outmaneuvered its enemies, safeguarding its capabilities in time. So when Netanyahu says Israel has removed a nuclear threat, it doesn't necessarily mean Iran no longer has nuclear ambitions. Iran has nuclear ambitions. What it likely means is that the immediate visible capabilities, uranium stockpiles, enrichment, launch systems have been set back significantly. A fiery political war of words over language has erupted yet again. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has accused the BJP-led central government of camouflaging its alleged Sanskrit agenda behind the more visible Hindi push. And for you, we break down the numbers, the politics and the deeper implications behind this north-south linguistic fault line. On Tuesday, Stalin took to social media platform X to vent his anger. His post read, "Sanskrit gets the crores, Tamil and other South Indian languages get nothing but crocodile tears." A strong statement, but what's backing it? Well, M.K. Stalin's outrage stems from data obtained through an RTI that is now at the center of this political storm. And the figures? Well, they are raising more than few eyebrows. From 2014 to 2024, the union government spent a whopping 2,532 crore rupees on the promotion of Sanskrit language alone. Now compare that to the combined spending on 5 other classical Indian languages, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam and Oriya, which together received only 147 crore rupees. Let's break that down. That's 230 crore a year for Sanskrit and just 13 crore per year divided between 5 languages. Tamil, the highest funded among these 5, received 113 crore. Even that is just 22 times less than what Sanskrit received. Telugu and Kannada each got less than 0.5% of Sanskrit's share. Oriya and Malayalam less than 0.2% of Sanskrit's share. This despite Tamil being declared the first classical Indian language way back in 2004, a full year before Sanskrit received that status. And this is where the politics kicks in. For the DMK, this is just about numbers. It is about cultural identity as well being sidelined. Stalin alleges a deliberate central agenda that Hindi is merely a cover, while the real push is for Sanskritization. Hindi is the mask, Sanskrit is the hidden face. That's what Stalin wrote earlier in March in a letter to his party cadre. And he's repeated it now, louder, and this time with numbers, with data in hand. So what is at stake here? For Tamil Nadu and other southern states, this is not just a policy dispute, it's a clash of pride. Tamil, one of the world's oldest surviving languages, has long been seen in the south as a pillar of its unique culture and identity. Now, the Modi government has not yet officially responded to this specific RTI data row. But in the past, it has repeatedly stated that Sanskrit is a language of ancient knowledge and deserves preservation and promotions. Supporters of Sanskrit language may argue that why should a language that forms the root of many Indian traditions, including yoga, Ayurveda, and ancient scriptures, not be funded more? True. But the opposition counters why then is there a disproportionate skew in funding when it comes to other classical languages that are equally, if not more, alive, spoken, and evolving. This is not the first time India has seen sparks fly over language. From the anti-Hindi agitations to digital age debates, language in India is deeply tied to identity. Stalin's accusations have fueled the already simmering language war. Torrential rain has thrown life out of gear in Gujarat. The city of Surat is grappling with severe waterlogging as incessant rainfall continues to batter the region. Schools have been shut, homes inundated, and emergency teams are on high alert. Perpetual rainfall has led to a flood-like situation across Surat. Streets in Ashapur Temple area, in Bardoli, and residential colonies are completely submerged. Vehicles have stalled, homes have been flooded, and in many areas, shops have been forced shut. Despite the intensity of the rainfall, no casualties have been reported so far, a silver lining in this cloudburst of chaos. But the impact on day-to-day life has been severe. Hundreds of people have been evacuated, including school children and the elderly, from submerged buildings and schools. Disaster response teams, including the NDRF and SDRF, are on the ground carrying out rescue operations in low-lying and vulnerable pockets of the city. In several societies, residents were left stranded overnight waiting for help as floodwaters entered their homes. School premises in the worst-hit areas had to be cleared out. Some turned into temporary shelters for evacuees. The IMD has issued an orange and red alert for various districts in Gujarat, warning of continued rainfall in the coming days. Now let's take a look at Indian Met Department's forecast. The rain is not going away anytime soon. The IMD has warned that rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms will continue across Gujarat and parts of Rajasthan until June 27. A fresh alert has been issued for tomorrow as well. Authorities in Surat have declared a temporary shutdown of schools and colleges as a precautionary measure. Emergency control rooms are on 24/7 duty. This is not the first time Surat has faced waterlogging woes. The city's drainage and flood management systems have come under the scanner once again. Every year, with the onset of monsoon, low-lying areas are the first to suffer, highlighting deep infrastructural challenges that remain unaddressed. The situation is being monitored at the highest levels. Officials say reservoir and dam levels are also being watched to ensure there is no risk of overflow. It's been days since the Air India flight AI 171 operating on the Ahmedabad to London route crashed in Gujarat. an incident that has left aviation authorities and flyers shaken. While the government has moved quickly to launch a full-scale probe, one detail is raising questions and sparking intense curiosity. Where is aircraft's black box? Let's unpack what we know. The black box of Air India's Boeing 7878 Dreamliner was recovered from the crash site on June 13. It's a crucial piece of equipment, often the most sought after an aviation mishap. Why? Because it holds the answers, flight data, cockpit conversations, system alerts, essentially a digital trail of what exactly happened in those final moments before disaster struck. But now, more than a week later, the black box has not left Indian soil. So why hasn't it been sent abroad to be probed, as is commonly done in such high-profile air crashes? The Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu has addressed this. He said that the black box is still in India, being examined by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, the AAIB, a body under the Ministry of Civil Aviation responsible for probing aircraft accidents. Now, this may sound like routine, but here's where the debate begins. Let's quickly clarify what the black box actually is first. It's not black, it's bright orange, and there are actually two devices: the cockpit voice recorder, which captures crew conversations and ambient sounds, and the flight data recorder, which logs technical parameters from the aircraft system. Combined, these devices are vital to piecing together what went wrong during a crash. But interpreting the data is not as straightforward as plugging it into a computer. It often involves highly specialized software, trained analysts, and sometimes even coordination with aircraft manufacturers like Boeing, which is why in many major cases, countries do send the black box abroad, particularly to labs in the US or France. So again, the question remains, why has India chosen not to, at least so far? The minister has responded, calling reports about an international transfer speculative. He maintains that the AAIB has the technical capacity to carry out the analysis right here in India, but he's also admitted it's a technical matter and that the process will take time. This leads to the next question: how much time? Well, there is no definite answer to that yet. While we're at it, let's also talk about the investigation itself. A high-level panel has been formed to look into the incident. According to the government, the probe is progressing smoothly, but without public updates or access to even preliminary black box findings, it is difficult to independently assess how far along the investigation really is. At this point, we still don't know when the black box data will fully be retrieved or whether it will eventually be sent abroad. What we do know is that every second counts in an aviation probe and that every unanswered question chips away at public confidence. The skies may look clear, but behind the scenes, turbulence continues in labs and ministries, and especially in the minds of passengers every time they board a flight now. A bombshell letter sent straight to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and marked urgently to the Home Minister, the Foreign Minister and IB Ministry. What's in it? Well, it demands the revocation of Indian passports, it calls for stripping Indian citizenship, and it wants immediate punishment for Diljit Dosanjh and his team. Why? Because of his film Sardaar G3, a Punjabi movie that just dropped its trailer, and with it a storm of outrage. At the center of the firestorm is Pakistani actress Hania Amir and the Federation of Western India Cine Employees, or FWICE, says her casting is nothing short of a betrayal. The film body says this is not just a casting choice, this is a direct violation of India's long-standing ban on working with Pakistani artists, especially after heightened tensions post-Operation Sindoor. In its letter, FWICE slams the filmmakers, including Diljit Dosanjh, producer Ganbir Singh, director Manmoh Sidhu and co-creator Amar, accusing them of insulting the soul of the nation. Yes, that's what the letter read. What has really angered the Federation is not just the presence of a Pakistani actor, it's who Hania Amir is and what they claim she represents. The film body calls her a vocal propagandist against India, accusing her of publicly mocking our armed forces, of defending Pakistan's terror attacks, and of spreading anti-India rhetoric online, especially after Operation Sindoor, when India struck hard and decisively against terror camps across the border. Now here's where things even get more serious. Federation of Western India Cine Employees is asking the government to act not just with statements but with action. They want the Indian passports of Diljit Dosanjh and his team revoked. They want their citizenship cancelled for allegedly going against the spirit of Indian law and national unity. And they want it done now. So I ask you, did Diljit really cross the line, or is this overreach? Share your answers with us. This is all I have for you in this special segment. For more news and updates, subscribe to the Daily Jagran. You can also log on to thedailyjagran.com. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nikita Kapoor signing off.